behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll banish a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and let our stories your ear. Cause the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and fair love. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, and some. The talk the tavern. Song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to the apocalypse. Oh, hold on. Extra music. Bonus music. Welcome to Talk of the Tavern on Monday. Wow, that is peaking really hot. Guys, sorry about this. We had to switch programs here. If the sound is off, you let us know, and we'll do what we can to adjust it better. I am Travis. I'm your host of Talk of the Tavern. Tonight we're talking about Doomsday prepping. And I am going to be partaking in a Doomsday cigar. It's a CAO Brasilia Go and some Henry McKenna bourbon. We'll just go clockwise from here. Ed?
Hey, what's up? I'm here and I'm drinking. Well, it was so good last week. I brought it back again. It's just good stuff.
And then Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris. I am drinking rum and Dr. Pepper. Hooray.
And then Andrea?
Sorry, I was muted. Oh. Well, Chris has the rum and Dr. Pepper. I just have the Dr. Pepper.
So sad.
And I'm knitting to, help with the blankets of the apocalypse.
I remember that series. That was a BBC series, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Elizabeth?
Hey, Elizabeth here, Pickle Lady, and tonight I shall be partaking in coffee, Coke, and as always, wada. I'm a gherkin on a go, so don't have my regular cups this evening.
You want to pimp your channel real quick?
Oh yeah, I'm pimping my channel, Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Pickle Lady. Come check it out. We got a Pickle Power Hour at 3 p.m. on the weekdays.
And you guys will see that
starting
she
Wednesdays.
just posted in there. Just click on her name and follow her channel. Give Elizabeth a channel follow. Elizabeth, don't forget you can do !me, and it will pimp your channel in the chat for you. And then last but not least, our long-lost British brother, Kevin.
Yes, thank you very much. This evening I will be drinking a coffee called Supercharger. It's rather nice. And this evening, instead of my usual drum tobacco, I am smoking Cutter's Choice Fine.
Nice. Now let me ask the viewing audience. First of all, what are you guys drinking? Second of all, is there a weird echo going on? If there is, we had this problem the other day. You know what, Kevin? You're not
You know what,
helping.
Kevin?
Let's do an opening toast.
Kevin?
So life isn't. There is a weird echo. Okay, that's what I thought. The quote: "Life isn't as serious as my mind makes it out to be." Here's to that. Guys, talk amongst yourself about Doomsday prepping or what's been going on in the past week, which is part of Doomsday prepping. I'm going to fix this sound issue some way, somehow.
Yeah, sure you are. So
It sounded fine to me when I was listening, but,
who's got toilet paper?
We always have toilet paper. I'm knitting some right now.
We always keep a generous stock because I'm such a giant ass.
How come the toilet paper roll didn't make it across the road?
Why?
Because it got stuck in the crack.
No.
The fifth graders call that a dirty joke.
Nice. No, but you gave me a good idea. I think I'm going to knit a roll of this. So when everybody's out of toilet paper, Yeah.
Smart.
Very smart. There's only so many socks one can use, right?
John says he can only talk amongst himself because the government won't allow anything else.
That's true.
Yep.
Birdie said, "I got." Oh, I'm sorry. Go, Andrew. Go, Andrew.
I was saying, Bertie says I've got life cereal in a cup. Does that count? Of course it does. Is it cinnamon life?
That's the
Is
best
it Mike?
life.
Is it cinnamon?
Yep.
Yes, my
Mikey-
bad.
Mikey
This
likes it.
afternoon while I was at the grocery store. I spent like $250 at the grocery store. I was like, I didn't even buy that much because there was no frickin' cheese except in the like fancy cheese area.
In
so
the
I had to
big
get
huge
like
pack?
yeah, well, not even. It's like a bunch of series of weird cheeses that I'd never seen before. I was like, but I need cheese to make sandwiches.
So you bought the
Is
weird
that a, is that a
So I bought
French
fancy
cheese?
cheese that was way more expensive than it should have been.
I didn't realize that there was a frickin' flavor of cheese. Am I missing out on something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mon Dieu.
It's really smelly.
I sympathise with you, Chris. My wife keeps me on a leash near deli counter.
Sorry.
Because you buy all the weird cheese, don't you?
I buy all the cheese she hates as well. This is what annoys her. She likes cheese. She loves cheese, but she's very fussy about what cheese she likes. And it's not the cheese I like.
What cheese does she like?
She likes quite soft cheeses like bries and camemberts, and she's not overly fond of anything with an overly strong flavour, whereas I
Here. Yeah.
I mean, I'm always fond of a good manchego myself.
I love that dance.
That reminds me of a comment. There's a Facebook page over here, Waitrose. I don't know if you have a similar comparison, but they're basically a
If I can interrupt
supermarket for
real quick,
posh people.
guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Let me ask you, now that we're all talking, is the echo gone? Kevin, just start talking. I need to see if the weird echo is gone or still there. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
5,
Carry on with
6.
your story. They'll tell me.
Okay.
Tell us about the cheese.
More cheese,
No,
please.
so Waitrose is basically a supermarket chain that's regarded as being for posher people. Poor people don't shop there. And there's a Facebook page called Comments Overheard in Waitrose. And one of them I read the other day that made me laugh was, "Darling, do we need manchego for both houses?"
Chris, la di da. Right on.
It's a goat cheese, so I don't have
course.
all of the dairy problems that I have when I eat regular cheese.
Cuts down on the party.
Everybody should be allowed to eat cheese in some form.
Oh,
Cheese is
we
good
have
for the
goat
soul.
cheese out here because we have goat farms and farmers markets. So I didn't know it was like a fancy thing.
Goat's cheese is lovely.
Yeah.
Cheese is cheese.
Goat's cheese, bit of fresh basil, some nice little tiny sweet cherry tomatoes on the vine. Oh, love. Bit of garlic bruschetta.
You had me at garlic.
I'm sorted for that in the apocalypse. At least there's an entire massive farm of it that supplies like the whole of the south of England, about 4 miles away by bicycle.
Soon all their
Is
garlic
it
may
not
be
4
gone.
miles away by walking?
Well, that as well, yes. But I automatically said bicycle because I used to work there when I was a kid in my summer holidays, and I used to bike there. You don't want to walk it. The whole of the island is hills everywhere you go. You're either going up or down a hill. There's literally about 6 foot of level ground on the whole island.
This is why you live at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah,
All
I'm
pubs are
smart.
at the top.
Yeah.
Start.
You walk up to the top of town and start at the top and just gradually drink, stroke, roll your way back towards home.
Thank you, Tracy, for that subscription. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Hi,
we beat it to it.
Tracy.
Hi, Tracy. And John says you had me at food. But we got a celebrity here. Spacey Tracy. She's a celebrity. I watch her every Wednesday night.
Oh, no way. How cool is that?
I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Me neither.
the television show Empire had a character on
Oh.
it. Stacey Tracy. She's dead now. They shot her.
I
Well,
hate when that happens.
like you do.
She got too popular.
So let me ask you guys. Let's direct us back towards the actual topic, which is doomsday prepping, which we've discussed this topic before with different apocalypses, but now we
Seems
have
appropriate, huh?
what? Yeah, it does. And yeah, I'm just. By the way, I hear something else picking up on the sound. I'm hearing an echo in my own headset of myself and you guys. It's interesting. Is anybody using their speakers as opposed to a headset? No, you're muted, Chris, and I'm still hearing it, so it's not you.
Hooray!
Yeah, Bertie, it's very quiet and vague, but I'll just keep an eye out. I've had my streaming software do this to me before, where I had to move to a headset, and it was something in one of the updates they did, so I suspect that's the case again. Anyhow.
Oh. See, you done pissed Kevin off. He left.
You
Damn it.
scared him.
Hopefully he comes back. We're going to leave the split crazy screen for a minute, and if he doesn't come back...
I'm like part Ed.
He's black from the neck down.
Look, it's Ed's teety head.
Better qualities than me.
So, doomsday prepping.
Doomsday prepping.
Ed, I see you did some extra canning.
Yeah. Is that? Am I supposed to?
It's a lead in.
Yeah, we did, but it was time. It wasn't just because of what's going on. It
Uh-huh.
was time. I think I may have mentioned before, we actually do use our stores. I mean, our goal is to try to have at least 30 days of stuff on the shelf, but when it's fully stocked, we have 90 days of stuff on the shelf. So we actually do use it because we're lazy. When you get in from work, you can just run down here and grab some stuff from the pot and put out.
I need to run down there and get some bacon jelly.
Come on, Dave. We got 4 jars left. 4 jars left.
Birdie, just so you know, yeah, when Kevin leaves, it messes up all the cameras, and we had to switch from Discord or from Skype to Discord for our program tonight because we had all of us on. So now I had it set up for 6. I have to go redo all the 5. So you guys get to see cameras bounce around as I fix them all. So these guys are going to keep on talking while I do this.
Yeah, you do that. You go ahead.
Okay.
Do it. So what did you can, Ed? What's this time
Um,
around?
Let's see, 9 pounds of ground beef, 2 pork shoulders. What else did we can this time around? Oh, and a brisket. We made barbecue out of both the brisket and the pork shoulder.
By the way, I did the corned beef stew that we were talking about, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Not all that good.
Oh, really?
Not horrible,
not-
just not all that good.
I'm not big into corned beef, but I like the vegetables that were cooked in it. So I'm very happy with that.
Oh, see that? Bertie's prepping involved buying a flat of instant ramen.
That'll work.
Hey, why not? It keeps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's only a nickel.
For the whole flat.
Yeah.
What was wrong with this stew?
Like I said, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't very good. Hey, Kennedy, how are you?
What up?
Hey, Kennedy. I
Okay,
don't
I did
think
hear myself
corned
echo.
beef is stew material. It's more for like other stuff.
And Ed, would you read his thing while I'm adjusting cameras for me, please?
I
And
kind of like the weird way it is. They hid this body on 2 screens.
Yeah, you do.
I wonder how my wife would like that.
I think she kind of likes the head part.
She probably
Depends
would
on
like-
which head.
would want one of the heads at least. Yeah.
One of them.
Depending what time of day it is, one or the other.
I was gonna say depending on mood. There you go.
That's right.
So, did y'all hoard toilet paper?
No, I only got 80 rolls.
Well, we know about you.
I have 10.
There is this article going around. I seen it on in my Google articles where you can calculate how long your toilet paper is going to last.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's
Well, how
true.
do you do it? I mean, what's the equation?
I don't know. You
Intake.
put in what you have to put in how many rolls and if it's 2-ply or whatever and the mega. I don't know. It has this algorithm. It's so stupid. I didn't do ours here because I'm lazy. Because then I'd have to get up and count them.
Okay. Yeah, Kennedy, it's because I'll show you how we fix that. Elizabeth, mute yourself for a second, please.
Sorry. Trying.
You can do it!
Apparently I can't.
There you go. Now everybody's going to sound clear. Elizabeth is broadcasting from North Carolina, where she needed to go take care of some business in this crazy world we're living in. Now, for everybody who's listening via podcast as opposed to a live broadcast on twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk on Monday nights, we have 5 of us on the screen. Had 6, but we lost our Brit. And we switched from one program to another, and it changed all the sound settings. So now you're going to hear, like, Chris, say hello again.
Hello!
Ed, Andrea.
What?
So they're clear now. They're clean now. It's just Elizabeth's got a lot of white noise going on. And we were wondering if it was her microphone, but she seems to be using the right one. So normally it's cleaner. I don't know. So many mysteries. But I'll tell you this. I was watching the news today. And of course, they're not bringing people into the news studio to interview them about everything going on with COVID-19. Instead, they're at home on Skype or some shit. And I tell you what, on average, we have better sound than most of these people they're interviewing. Yes, Chris.
Trevor Noah has been doing The Daily Show from his apartment for the last, 4 or 5 days. And they, changed the intro. So it's like, tonight on The Daily Show from Trevor Noah's couch. Live in New York to wherever you are. Because, at least he can still, have
They're
fun.
copying us.
What?
They're copying us. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Well, we're not comedians? Professional comedians?
That's just because we're not getting paid yet.
I've been paid for it, then banned afterwards. Anyhow, Bertie says, I believe Joe Biden did a live stream and that was an audio disaster. It happens, and from time to time, as our software on the show gets updated for the streaming software, etc., you get these glitches. Elizabeth, if you do want to speak, don't forget to unmute.
Because we will point and laugh.
It
Ed.
was an audio disaster because he told the guy he was full of shit. That's why it was an audio disaster.
It is. We're just going to clip that sound, and Elizabeth can just laugh the whole time, and I'll keep hitting play.
That was a glorious video moment. That guy's tough. That was awesome.
I'm gonna have to watch that video.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
And Biden's all, well, I'm gonna take you outside, and the guy's like, okay, yeah. No.
It reminds me, I was
You're
watching...
gonna go on a date? What the
I
hell?
love politics.
So, in our current world, just in case anybody's listening to this after plucking it out of the ruins of the cities and somewhere between next week and 200 years from now, we are in the midst of the coronavirus. We have 41,000 or 42,000 cases in the USA as of the moment. We have I don't. What is it? 138,000 worldwide. A lot of these have, gotten over it, got past it, and a lot have died. And just today alone, Maryland shut down all non-essential businesses and travel. Virginia did. South Carolina is putting a ban out on any gathering of 3 or more people that could endanger public safety. So I assume in your house you could have 50, but on the street, 3 or more, which means a couple. You have a kid?
So that means you can't. So these families with like 10 kids, they can't be out in public together.
Nope.
Bertie says UK is completely in lockdown. Yeah, we're seeing this across the world. Fun fact, Russia has less deaths than anybody ever.
So they say.
Right. And that's what I'm going at. Even though they have, the 5th largest population, and correct me if you know the exact ranking, street racing is now a go. Thank you, John. But we have something like 12 or 13, like last night it was 8 states in lockdown in the United States, and tonight it's like 12 or 13. And again,
West Virginia among them also.
Yeah. And we're gonna. Yes, Andrew?
I was going to say, I saw an article in Italy, anyone over 60 is not getting respiratory treatment.
Really?
They're just left. Yeah. Anybody 60 and older, they're not getting help.
Guys, this is the talk of the tavern. We're going to say some horrible things. We're going to laugh about horrible things. We're going to say some hard truths. Now, we're a compassionate, kind bunch, but we do call out some hard fucking truths once in a while. And one thing that has been discussed is a disease like this, a virus, not a disease. It's a hard-hitting, horrible thing. And yes, you might go, it's only 3% death rate. But that's fine until you know somebody, work with somebody, live with somebody, or are somebody who dies. Then it sucks more.
Yeah.
John's canceling his trip to Italy, and Kennedy wants to know how we can have Thunderdome if we can't hang out together. Here's the deal, though. A disease, a virus like this is like a forest fire. It's a horrible, destructive thing. And here's the asshole part, guys. It clears out the deadwood. Okay?
What the hell?
And by the way...
Wasn't there just a big fire in Australia? Or is that still going?
I think it's pretty much out.
Yeah, that's been out for about 6 weeks now. Adam, it has been a while. Good to see you. Which, by the way, with the whole... I have totally lost my train of thought. Damn it.
You were saying it's okay to kill off the old people.
I was not saying it's okay. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
Well, that's what I took away from that
high risk.
conversation.
Let me finish the thought before I lose it again. High risk categories: people with hypertension, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes. I tell you what, 70% of fucking America is in danger right now because we are an obese, fat ass society. We could clear out a lot of problems. And good
I'll
people.
miss you guys.
John is like yelling "hey" at everything I say. Toey's like, if it cleared out Deadwood, Congress would look a lot better.
Yeah.
Chris, please go on now. Now that I got that thought out before I lost it again.
No, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Are you sure? Okay, it's funny, it's humorous, but it's also true. And when you establish triage, there's a limited supply. There's a limited number of people you can save in a disaster, in an accident, and then they put you in order of dead, maybe.
Almost dead. Feeling much better.
Slightly dead.
Priority urgent, nearly dead. They do that. And that is.
That's right. I think I'll take a walk. Not out there, you won't, motherfucker. That's illegal right now. Which, by the
that's
way,
what's starting to happen.
They have been arresting people because there's too many people on the hiking trails.
Yeah.
Not to
Oh,
mention
yeah,
California
they-
beaches.
So are they
They
going to put them in the?
estimated like 30, like what was it? It was like 3,500 people showed up at the tidal basin for the cherry blossoms. Like it was packed down there. And my friend is a park ranger down there, and she was telling people, "No, you have to go home. We're fucking closed."
What were the people saying?
They were like, "Well, whatever." It's like, no, guys, like just because you're off work and it's a beautiful like weekend, you gotta go the fuck home.
So if they arrest the people, are they just going to all pack them into jail? They
Well,
can't
no,
have social distance there, can they?
They're not
Is it-
arresting them.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Is
They're-
it true Weinstein has the coronavirus?
That's what I heard.
Google it. Find out, Ed.
Karma is a bitch.
There's definitely an increased police presence where I am. I don't know about around you all, but within Bethesda and Silver Spring here in Maryland, maybe every fifth car is a cop car on the road right now.
Not here. We don't have enough police.
A couple of comments here. I guess I should pull out my bell. So when you guys hear this sound, keep in mind that means Travis wants to read some comments, and I'm telling the viewers, listeners, and ourselves. Adam says it's best to stay in, though, won't it? Bertie says, wait, they're arresting people for hiking, but not shoplifting or check fraud? That's correct. Welcome to now.
Yep.
No licking Harvey. Who the fuck is Harvey? The rabbit? John, who's Harvey? Oh, no licking Weinstein. Sorry. Toei never sees police because she covers her eyes. Tracy, hiking trails, basically national parks have closed or are closing. Yes, Ed, please.
Well, you got to remember here, March 15th is the traditional start date for the Appalachian Trail, and you get as many as 25,000 hikers hiking that trail a year.
You know, I'm trying to picture what the police are going to do if they go out there and they're like, well, we're not going to arrest you and take you in. Go home?
Go home? Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, you're actually safer out there spread apart as you are than going to Walmart.
They already closed down the Appalachian Trail Conservatory, which is in West Virginia, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. They have closed down, and that's where you usually it's the halfway mark, and when you get there, you register and everything. They have closed down, and they have huts along the Appalachian Trail about every 6 to 12 miles, and you literally pack in the huts to sleep overnight. They've shut all of them down.
Huh,
So
did they lock the doors?
I'm not really. They don't really have doors, so I'm not really sure what they're doing other than posting signs and rangers keeping an eye out on them. But they don't really have doors. But they have said they've shut them down. Don't stay at the huts.
And guys, I am going to keep interrupting with viewer comments because this is not just you and I discussing it. This is affecting every single person in chat worldwide. So part of me will I keep jumping in. Adam says more police on the street means less time for minor offenses. Kennedy says confiscate the hikers' food and tents. Adam also says similar thing with court cases. Big news here that a cop got run over and killed and the case had to be adjourned because of the virus. Bertie says reported Weinstein has Corona Chan. Is that what we're calling it now? Corona Chan?
I don't know.
Might be phone on autocorrect. I don't know what Bertie puts on
But
her.
yeah, ABC News is reporting he has the coronavirus.
Now, whether he does or not, if he's about to go the way of Jeffrey Epstein is something to think about. Okay, and Gary went back to Pennsylvania. Stay away from Philly, Gary. Stay away from... Wait, aren't you in Philly? Anyhow. Corona Chan is a meme. Thank you, Bertie. I am old and out of the loop, so feel free to slam a link up there. Show us. Educate us. Old people. What are we doing, guys? I mean, we can keep talking about what's going on and what things we're seeing going on, but what are we doing? Ed, we commented on your canning behind you. We talked about buying toilet paper, which The levels I'm doing is my normal stuff. I normally have enough for a month if I can't get to the store,
Yeah.
barring bread, milk, stuff I use every
Yeah.
day, minus toilet paper. That I stock 6 months at a time.
Please
Yeah,
don't
I
use
mean-
the bread for toilet paper.
Yeah. The same for toilet paper. Yes, I did just get 80 rolls in last week, but we keep that much on hand anyway.
Do you
and
really?
just-
So that's not an extravagance. That's normal.
No, that's normal for us. We keep that much on hand, and
How much
we
do
are
you go
somewhat
through?
preppers. We are somewhat preppers, so
Oh,
you
that's
know,
true. That's
80
true.
rolls of toilet paper. Yeah,
It-
that's
And every
So-
time we talk about traveling back in time or doomsday scenario, when we're like, what will you miss most? Ed's answer is always toilet paper.
always ass white, man.
Yeah.
That's God's giving gift to man, ass white.
Oh, I'm going to read Toei's thing there. Gotcha, Birdie. Thank you for the education. Toei says, I don't need to do anything, but I do go out as a spectator to gain intel. Adam, I fear my self-isolation could break my 3 months of no fap. It's downhill from here. That's right. I guess if you're not in self-isolation, isolation, you could have the person next to you. Hey, give me a hand.
To wipe your ass?
No, fapping.
Oh.
Kennedy, you have been divorcing her for well over a year at this point in time. What the hell? It's all on you at this point. The fun of being under house quarantine with a woman I'm divorcing. You can't imagine the fun.
I can imagine a lot.
You know those memes we've been seeing that Andrea sees these memes and they're like, oh, 2 weeks after being stuck in the house with her husband, she knits him something and it's a noose. And Andrea's like, the fuck? Why are you in a house with somebody that you can't be around?
Yeah.
Why are you married? If you
Yeah,
can't,
why are you
be
married?
quarantined with them for a couple weeks.
See, those memes are for Kennedy right now.
Well, see, look, I'm not knitting him a noose. I'm knitting him toilet paper.
Two-handed
Hold on,
job.
I've got a
And
new
Adam, yes, you're right. I'm a big man. I need.
She's not knitting him a noose. She's knitting him a body bag.
We just call them blankets or mermaid tails. Hold on. Birdie posted something there. Sadie, thank you for that host. I hope you're hanging out and having a good time with us. I appreciate everybody who is swinging by and whatnot.
Thank you.
There we go. Corona-chan, the internet's new virus waifu.
I still have those nooses that you made, Chris. The cats play with them.
By
Right
play with
around
it,
the house.
she means try to get them around off their neck with their back legs.
There's all these little
Yeah,
mouse bodies.
It's real bad because like this is a piece of tie line that we use at work to tie like cables and things out of the way, right? So like I've got pockets and pockets full, and it just comes home and goes in the laundry. But there's a pile next to my desk, and when I get bored, I tie nooses. So there is a pile of tiny little nooses sitting next to my desk, and it gets me in trouble when like my boss's boss walks in and goes, "Why the fuck do you have a pile of nooses at your desk?" You just go,
And he says, practice.
Just tell me.
"Well, it's the one knot that I was good at from that I learned in the Boy Scouts."
If I may, real quick, Zadie finally popped in, said hello. Zadie said, hey, I had an ad. Then she put up a figure, but I couldn't see that because she was typing this. But I just wanted to pop in and say hi and see how you're doing. We're doing great, Zadie. Better with you. And also, I want to read... Adam here says, legitimate question here, guys, since we're on the subject. Do we consider it normal to wipe standing or wipe sitting? After number 2, the poopies. Really?
I'll go for it.
Who the fuck wipes standing up?
You
Wipe yourself or
sitting-
someone else.
You wipe sitting because your cheeks are spread wider and you can get yourself cleaner.
Right.
So, sitting.
Do some people actually wipe standing up? Because, ew.
Little children.
Well, you gotta remember DMV, Travis. I don't think they even sit at all.
Yeah, well, they were perched atop the toilet seat. That was just the goddamn employees. Doesn't count the beast that came through the front door, or the beast that went out their back door. So, what are we doing to prep? Here we are right now. Businesses are shutting down. The economy is crashing. We are looking at only essential things open, which means what are? Does anybody know what the essential businesses are? Some hotels, because they might become hospitals.
Grocery stores,
Grocery stores.
ABC
Pharmacies.
here.
ABCs, pharmacies.
Gas stations.
Some retail places. That's why I find out tomorrow if
I'm still going to be working, because where I work, it's stuff to prepare. You know, we sell vegetable plants and things like that, so I don't know.
John, are you really? John says we're allowed to be open. The bookstore, comic store?
As long as they maintain less than 10 people.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was essential places if they maintain less than 10 customers.
In Virginia, I watched his. I actually watched Northam today. Gosh, forgive me. And he did clarify that non-essential places can be open if they can maintain less than 10 customers and they can be 6 feet apart.
Chris?
So in Maryland, what counts as essential? Daycares can remain open. Grocery stores, liquor stores, bars and restaurants if they're only doing carry out or delivery.
Yeah.
Pharmacies, laundromats, anyone doing maintenance and construction in that, like maintaining of keeping a building from falling down that was going on, TV, radio, internet, emergency services, banks. A lot of these though have to maintain the less than 10 people.
I know banks, only the drive-throughs open. The restaurants here, the sit-down ones, they can bring it to them, but they're not allowed to, no eating in the restaurants. Like Subway was open today, but you can't eat in the building.
Homeless shelters, soup kitchens, food banks, those sorts of things.
And if I can hit a couple comments real quick, because like I said, we're going to go heavy on the comments. Zadie, thank you for the compliment. Spacey, Tracy, have a wonderful night. Take care of yourself and your family.
Night,
Good night,
Tracy.
I know you got some challenges there. We love you and we want you to be safe. Gary says most places are closed. Gary also said his local bike shop open. Don't know if it's slowed or allowed or not. No gathering for events at John. Zadie's at a restaurant. Adam says, Ed, this is for you. What would the guy on the bottom right say he's prepping for? Apart from right now, what other problems might the world face in the near future that may require prepping? Ed, what I'd suggest is define your prepping.
For me, unlike other people, a lot of people do prep for a specific event. Not me. I'm prepping for any time I might not be able to make it to the store and buy food. So right now, this is one of those times. The food stores suck what they have on their shelves. So, yeah. Never thought I'd be using it. But, hey.
So, Ed, when do we look at meeting at coordinates that you still haven't resent me? Because I'm getting the message here. I'm getting the undercurrent message of.
Okay, I'll send those to you as soon as the show ends. Remind me. Anytime the government tells you start gathering here, that's when we need to meet at those coordinates. Don't gather there because bad things happen. You've seen the movies. Bad shit happens when you gather there.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a reasonable level there. And by the way, I agree with Birdie with the. She says daycare is a good way to spread a virus to a whole community, which is what I immediately thought when Chris read that.
Yeah, because they closed daycare in Virginia.
Right. And Birdie also says, "Watch your own dirty germ goblins," which I like that turn of phrase there. Dirty germ goblins.
Here's my issue with that. Now they have closed the schools for the whole academic year. Okay, great.
They're all at Lowe's.
There's adults.
I can rant, I can read.
No, we're not doing that. yeah, they're bringing them with them everywhere because they don't want to be stuck in the house with their own children. So they're bringing them into the stores. Like I went to get my tire fixed because I need my car working in case we do have to go anywhere or I have to work and everything's closed. There was a lady in there. Her kids were there, rubbing their nose, snot everywhere. Yeah, I mean, like kids do.
Here's something else. If you can't stay home with your kids, I mean, psychologically able to stay at home with your own children, quit fucking breeding. Okay? I have no problem with people having children, but if you can't put up with your own goddamn kids, quit fucking having kids.
Preaching
I'm
to
just
the
like,
choir.
wow, if I was still a child care provider, I would make so much money right now. It'd be cash up front.
Of course, you'd be dead in a week and a half, but whatever. You'd have enough for a funeral.
I would just wrap them all in plastic, put them in the corner, you know.
The act.
Slowly poison them one at a time.
John says
No,
breeding
this
is
not
fun,
flowers
though.
in the attic.
Good job, John.
Yeah, as Mama Bird likes to say, says Birdie, get out of the gene pool. And John says breeding
They
is
make
fun.
condoms for a reason.
Yeah. You guys can go through the act of breeding all you want. Please do. Ed does. I think we all do when we have the opportunity. But that doesn't mean you gotta make a baby out of that thing. I mean,
The most difficult formula in the world for people to understand is penis plus vagina equals baby.
not if you do it right.
So, quit hating on all the gay people that are not breeding.
That's right. That's right, please.
Just saying.
Matter of fact, they'll take your ugly little snot goblins. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm glad the carpet
Yeah, if
does
you
this.
bring your awful naughty children in public, then we should be allowed to beat them.
There's a. I think Trump would put that law through.
Well, it used to be like that.
Not close-fisted. I mean, like open hand.
Yeah.
Maybe get one smack.
Yeah, we don't even want to hurt them. We just want to knock them away from us.
You know what? Let's do the social distancing proper. We'll cane them, right? Get it right.
Oh.
I see we
I'm
have
just saying.
a real, true tavern group today. John says, I'm glad the carpet doesn't sprout more of me. Adam says, wrap them up, sell them to the school cafeteria. Bertie says, that's a hot take. And Toey says, spears and pikes. These are.
Well, I have.
This
a
is our
question.
people.
So, I have a question. What are you wrapping up and selling to the school cafeterias? The before child or the after child?
Well, I think with the fermenting, it's a little of both.
Like, here's the condom.
Protein. I see what she means by before child now.
It
You're
rubs the
welcome.
lotion on its skin.
Well, no, that's masturbation, Elizabeth.
Like, oh, not my eye.
Oh, see, Kennedy says, now this is good. I'm curious about this. Kennedy says, my last day in New York City was Friday the 13th, which is when everything in the U.S. really kind of took off.
They planned it like that.
And it was creepily empty. Imagine what it's like now, 10 days later. I've seen pictures. It is eerie.
28 days later.
Chris, what?
So a friend of mine lives in Normandy, France, and they have had several, like, you are not allowed to leave your house for X number of days. And after the first time, which was only 3 days or so, she, like, was like, I'm going to video myself walking to the local grocery store on the corner, which is like 4 or 5 blocks from her apartment. And it was eerily empty.
That's
and this
awesome.
was like, everyone's allowed to be out and about, but everyone was just staying the fuck in, and you would hear the random, like, cat or dog bark from down the road. And it was just a creepy video of her
You need to-
walking through this
You need to
old
find it and get it for
French
us. Yeah, you need to find that for us and hand it to us. The link for that video. Somebody else in New York City got married. The husband and wife standing on the sidewalk, and somebody, their friend, performed the ceremony from the 4th floor window.
That's great.
Yeah, that kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Okay, so I'm in the lobby
Yes.
of the hotel,
Yeah.
and there's a continuous stream of people going in and out to go outside and smoke. And they're smoking so much, and then they come through and walk through the lobby, hacking and coughing. Hacking and coughing. Like, you think
That's not the virus. That's
they-
cancer. It's okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of, come on. You're more susceptible. It's just, you can't.
It's the pot throat burn. It's okay.
Oh yeah. It's medicinal.
No, it's
Sorry.
if it were pot, I would be out there with them.
Oh. Thank you, Kennedy. By the way, let me add a moment of calm clarity here. Okay. Coronavirus.
Why start now?
Yeah, I know, because we need this moment. We're coming up on break time soon. Guys, coronavirus is a very virulent virus. And most of us are going to get a mild cold from it. Some of us are going to get a bad cold, and most of us are getting through it. Now, something I saw here today, let me add this in also for you guys. I actually copied it and texted it to myself. This is a quote from somebody named Anika Olson. Okay? Anika Olson pleaded with her peers, quote, "Sure, many of us can shake off the disease, but millions of people cannot. We are putting their lives at risk. You touched a bartender you did not realize had diabetes, the waitress who has hypertension is a single mom of 2 kids, or the cute guy who has no health insurance. Or you visited your aging grandma, a friend recovering from a surgery, or your pregnant coworker. These people are all at serious risk of infection, losing their jobs and losing their lives. The virus we carry in our bodies right now might be the one that ends theirs." Okay? So even if you're like, I'm going to get a little cold, somebody else might get a lot more. So we joke and we laugh, tongue in cheek, little horrible, because we're assholes. But in all seriousness, most of us are going to be okay. A few of us are dead. And as I said, in America, if we look at how many people have diabetes, hypertension, heart problems because of obesity and such related things, there's a lot of people at risk right now. Okay, back to the stupidity. Adam says, in a weird way, without sounding like a twat, welcome to the tavern. It's the Tavern. I've always wanted this to happen, not see people hurt, but more of a near end of the world situation, see how well I do. Survive like I am legend or something. John says he has health insurance, come touch him.
Anything to get a feel. No, I got health insurance. Touch me. Come on.
That's a hell of a pickup line.
I saw one earlier today. I got toilet paper. Come on over.
Bertie, thanks for swinging by. Send Jorp over. So I think he'd enjoy this conversation because this is the tavern, Bertie. This is what we do here. Zadie says, seriously, just don't touch each other, you know? And at work, I'm doing hiring for Amazon right now. And I'm like, no cuddling or hugging people and stand 6 feet apart. You know, we were taught, don't stand that far from people. Now, do.
Don't stand so. Don't stand so.
Yeah. See, Zadie says, I love that line, though. Zadie would fall for it. You get health insurance? I'll be right there.
I have a question. When was it ever appropriate to cuddle at work? I missed that
Well,
class.
it depends on your job.
Have you seen Mad Men?
I mean, on a Saturday between shows? In the artist relaxation bunk beds? Okay.
What? Ed?
I'll answer that because I posted the meme earlier this week about this is real, this is a struggle, because I am a hugger. And until recent years, I've hugged coworkers at work. I mean, you know, and this is a struggle for me because I am a hugger. I can't hug nobody.
Aw, Zadie, I would cuddle you. I think Ed would cuddle you. Zadie, do an exclamation point me so people can follow you. Zadie says, "What job is this? Because I need a solid cuddle every now and then. I'm a hugger too." By the way, guys, Zadie is the one that did the art for my Puppy is a Werewolf, the children's book that I need to format and put out. So that's the artist there. And she is adorable and a sweetheart. And she was on a Grammy-winning album this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So there you go. It's
Cool.
I just posted an article, and it's entitled "I'm 26 and coronavirus sent me to the hospital." And
that sounds like a country song.
See, I posted a thing about sex and coronavirus, so there's that too. I also dropped it in Discord.
Okay.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like that's a virus.
I find it funny though, because all this stuff's happening. We have this virus, but apparently they have a drug that cures HIV and AIDS.
Well, they've had a second person cured.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a start, and now we have this.
Sure. Nature's telling us something.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't this, it'll be something else.
Thank you, Zadie. Did I misspell your name? I'm so sorry. Yes, I did. Who's this other person?
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for correcting me. Appreciate it. Got you to do the comments anyway. So here we are. By the way, how many people are out of work right now? Elizabeth, raise your hand. Chris, are you working?
Nope. Yep. I have
you're-
to work from home now.
Okay.
But I am guaranteed pay through August-ish.
Nice.
Okay.
Technically, our year restarts on July 1st, but I think our salaries have already been approved for next year.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
What?
Braggart.
Ed, I want to know, are you employed? Or working, I should say.
I'm working my ass off, as a matter of fact, because everybody that sneezes, stumps their toe, falls down, bumps their knee, is calling off work because they think they have the fucking coronavirus. So I'm working my ass off right now.
Okay. Now, Kennedy says Trojan presents the N95 because regular condoms are just not enough. I don't know what N95 means.
That's the type of mask everybody's wearing with the
Oh, is it?
respirator thing.
Oh, thank you, Andrea. See?
Yeah, we're
Hard
sold
work.
out, so don't yell at me about it.
John just said, we just fired my partner. Well, forced him to stay home. I was terrified of that first statement. But, yeah. There we go. That's another thing. I have to be... First of all, the projections are 80% of the population will get coronavirus. Okay? What we're trying to do right now, guys, is make sure we don't all get it at once and overwhelm the system. Which, considering we don't even have as many hospital beds per capita as Italy, and Italy is in shambles, medically speaking, right now. Kennedy's working from home. John is going in. What about the rest of my viewers? Who's still working? Who's stuck at home? And actually, I'm more curious about what is considered essential personnel and essential workforce. Retail, restaurants. The people we all spit on and kind of ignore and treat like shit.
Yeah.
Toei, I believe you could be correct. Toei says, get it? I believe many of us have had it already, starting months ago.
Yeah, I think she's probably very, very correct. I think a lot of people have had it, and it's probably even gone and never
Right.
had it.
Right. And
That giant evil sickness that I had back over New Year's.
could be, Chris. Could be. It's, there is a shortness of breath associated where it feels like there's a weight on your chest. It's hard to breathe. That kind of stuff. Something else Elizabeth and I discussed is I don't get inoculated for the flu every year. I don't take a flu shot.
I don't either.
And I very, very rarely, like once in the past 15, 20 years, got it.
3 years ago was the last time I got it because my friends had a baby and I wanted to be able to see the baby. So I needed to get a flu shot, tetanus, and the other thing that they put in with the tetanus shot now. I forget what it's called. So I had to get all of those just so that I could see the baby.
You just convinced me not to touch babies anymore. Thank you.
Yeah, but it was good in that I got a
Sure.
updated tetanus shot, which I should do more than often when I'm working in a theater with lots of possibly rusty metal.
Well, and here's the thing. One of my coworkers, they got the flu shot because they're required. They had to get the flu shot. And they did not get the flu. They had the symptoms, so they were very sick. But got tested, did not have the flu, just all the symptoms. So how many people got a flu shot, had the symptoms, and think they have this?
Well, also with Corona, we're going to see a lot of people who had it, who got it, who moved on, who test negative, and they're like, oh, never had it. No, you had it. You just never knew it.
You just don't have it now.
Or we're trying to get these tests out. I can't find it in my local area. I went, I've got some mild symptoms. Maybe. Let me call around. No, nobody's got it. Hold on, a couple comments. Allergies. Gary says, I've had something for over a month that comes and goes, doesn't get any worse than a scratchy throat and runny nose. Gary, I'm getting similar things. Now, I'm wondering if I'm developing late life allergies or what. Kennedy says, I think about 55% adults get the flu shot and 10% get the flu. By the way, the flu shot this year was for the wrong strain. Toei says, I have never had a flu shot and won't voluntarily ever get one. I also never used hand sanitizer, antibacterial wipes, or any of these other newfangled. Suddenly, we are in rockers, shaking our fist and telling people get off our lawn. There is something to be said with building your immune system, and there is something to be said with getting vaccinated. We are not anti-vaxxers, to be clear. Absolutely not fucking anti-vax. Give me your mumps, give me your measles, vaccinate me.
Polio.
Yeah.
Polio.
Yeah. But when it comes to a different strain of roll the dice to see if we got the right vaccine this year,
Yeah.
Well, let me add a counter to that.
Please.
As a teacher, they ask us to. They can't. They haven't yet gotten to the point where they mandate it, but they highly encourage, and sometimes I even offer free ones because, it's not just the kids in your class you're dealing with. You're dealing with everyone they encounter, every child and who they encounter and their family encounter. I mean, it's exponentially you're being exposed.
Sure.
And so, true that, they take a guess, the best determination of what flus are going to be big this year, and they give it a shot.
Yeah.
But, do we truly know the effectiveness of it? Well, a lot of people die of the flu every year. A lot of people die. And I think it's worth, no pun intended, well, maybe, it's worth a shot. Get the shot, and it might work, it might not. When I didn't teach, I didn't ever really get the shot, but now that I teach, I do.
Reasonable.
Definitely do.
And that's what I'm pointing out. We're not criticizing anybody else for choosing to. We just apparently don't. By the way, a few comments. Toby says, well, I'm a boomer, so I'm obligated. I'm sorry. Well, I'm a boomer, so I'm obligated to be crotchety. John says, get that shingle shot. Way better than getting it. And Kennedy says, I want to see an anti-vaxxer who says no to a rabies vaccine after getting bit by a rabid animal.
Was it a raccoon?
And did it have a little sign going, I fucked Ed up?
Yeah. Bad.
Wiley.
Wait, where's the raccoon? Where's the raccoon?
By the way, I want to take a quick moment. Does anybody need a break here? Does anybody need to step away? Elizabeth, you're already muted. Go take care of things. We'll be here. Anybody else need to step away for a moment?
Yeah, I should.
Go ahead, Chris. Here's what I'm going to say, guys. I'm going to take a moment to thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us on our structured streams that go out later. Artichoke. Oh my fucking God, Artichoke. Thank you for introducing Andrew and I to American Gods. It is good to see you. Where the fuck have you been? And glad to see you're okay.
Good night, John.
Have a good night, John. We're still going for another hour, guys. Maybe longer.
Good night, John.
But here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Don't forget, I'm not asking you to subscribe with money out of your pocket because, in theory, money could get very tight if it isn't already. But if you have Amazon Prime, please consider using it on the Tavern here, where I write, I do D&D, we do the writers thing on Saturday nights, we do talk at the Tavern on Monday nights. Support us if you can. If you can't, the best support ever you can give us is what you're doing right now. Hanging, listening. If you're listening in a podcast, join us live if you like, etc. Gary says, haven't had a shot since the service and during defense readiness. We would get 10 or more at a time, 30 plus years ago. Ed remembers that. Readiness. Zadybug said, hey, I'm glad you're doing well. Need to head out. Not feeling too hot. I may pop in and back in a bit if you can. Zadie, if you're not streaming, come say hello. I just love to hear you're okay, Zadie. I love to hear you're doing all right. And that you're happy, healthy, and wise. Or at least one of the three.
Gary's bailing too.
No, Gary's saying goodnight to Zadie.
Oh, okay.
Gary generally sticks it out with us like after. I can come back 10 minutes later and type shit and Gary's still here hanging out. Lots of love for Gary. Pepper Garden. Here, have you seen this, Ed? Have I shown you this? Hold on, let me.
So Gary's going to remember back before when they used to have the air guns, and I guess they weren't too concerned about AIDS back in those days because you literally stood in line and
Thank
they
you,
had
Zadie.
a gun on each side of you. You stepped up and pop, pop. Step to the next one, pop, pop. Yeah, It was a great day.
By the way, did you see the Gary Gnu? No good news is good news with Gary Gnu?
Oh,
Do you remember that from Great Space Coaster at all, Ed? Was that after you?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
I made that just for Gary. Because that's something from my childhood for all of like 8 minutes in 1979, 1980. With that big, stupid blue elephant. And Gary Gnu, and I don't remember anybody else. There you go. Gary says, that was drill, man. Saw lots of cats pass out, too. By the way, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like shots. Is there anybody here, whether it's a viewer or right here with me right now, who does go, shots? Yeah, baby.
No.
Nobody likes shots. Some of us
I
just...
won't get blood. I won't donate blood. Absolutely not. Nope. I don't need needles anywhere near my arms. Or any of me, really. I'm good.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, did we lose Andrea?
Yeah. There she is.
It was stuck for a while, so I just restarted it.
Okay.
Oh, booze shots, Artichoke. That would be different. Artichoke, by the way, I want to take a moment here. You doing okay? How's Ireland? It is good to see you. I've thought about you many times. So I'm just glad to see you. You doing okay? Or are you bouncing through 4 streams and you don't even hear what I'm saying to you? Don't hate shots. Don't make my neep norps tingle or anything. Yeah, I get the ones I need to get, but I don't like be like, hey, I couldn't help see you had a needle. How you doing?
Yeah, I could never be a drug addict because the thought of just sticking a needle in my own arm nah, I'll drink mine.
That's why I couldn't be a diabetic either.
There we go. I choose not to be a diabetic because of that.
Pretty much.
Damn it. I'm trying to get Greg. Greg just sent me a message. Greg Chapman, who we all know and love. And he's out
So I
of
guess
work.
Kevin... Oh.
I'm sorry, guess Kevin. Yeah, he put something up here. Hold on, let me go see what's going on with Kevin here. Elizabeth is back. Idea of stick a needle someone else. Slight tingle. Okay, that's fair enough, Artichoke, because I know some motherfuckers I would stick with a goddamn metal thing if I could. Kevin may or may not be back. We'll see. Northern Ireland still in the stage of pretending nothing is wrong. Not from the news we're getting, Artichoke. Yeah, we're getting news across our news feeds that Ireland is like, fuck everybody. Don't move. Just stay still. We're playing freeze tag. Um,
1, 2, 3, red light.
that's right. It's definitely a red light. Hold on, I'm gonna send Greg another message.
He says that's the south.
Oh, is it? Thank you. And Artichoke, what is your pronouns? Help us out. I believe it's she, her, right? That's what you like, right? Refresh us, let us know, and barring memory issues from our age, we got you. We got you. There you go. Thank you. Artichoke, she, her. Artichoke was somebody who almost a year ago popped in and actually gifted Andrea and I with, I believe, the Blu-ray of American Gods off our Amazon wish list, which is a great show. Milady, if you nasty. Okay, well, I think we all got to call you Milady now.
Yes, my lady.
Okay, so back to Doomsday prepping. We're all prepping a little bit, aren't we? Is anybody not prepping a little? Elizabeth?
Actually, I just had a comment about the shots and vaccines, and I just wanted to add to it. Some are important, are very important to get. Like when you get older, if you've had chickenpox, you can get shingles. Right?
John mentioned that, yeah.
That's what John was
Pretty
saying.
debilitating. Now, I didn't realize the variety that you can get of shingles. Yeah, I've only had friends get it like near their eye or, near
Asshole.
their anus, and yeah, okay. Now, Tony Horton, he's the guy that invented P90X, that extreme workout routine, and it really works, and it's really amazing. He got shingles. It's something called Ramsay Hunt syndrome, where you get shingles in your ear.
Oh, God.
And this is in the last couple of years, and it affects your balance, it affects your nerve endings, he's had dramatic weight loss from muscle. He's just be solid muscle, and he's recovering, and he's still alive, but it's definitely a drastic change in his life and style, and affected this amazing athlete. So it is important to be careful and get shots.
I'd like to
You
genetically...
didn't mention if he got the shingles before that.
I'd
Sorry,
like
go
to
ahead.
genetically engineer shingles so it just looks like dragon scales. Can we do that? Can we work on that? Greg Chapman, by the way.
Greg.
I told
Who
him...
says they're not?
I told him to come in and pimp his shit. Guys, Greg... First of all, Greg, if you... I know he said he can't have his sound on, but I'm going to pimp his shit anyway. We need him on our writer's show on Saturday night. We need him to come guest this.
Shiver me shingles.
Evening all, sneaking in. Travis invites sneaky plug for my audiobook entertainment. He'd be supporting a suddenly struggling artist. Greg had show after show after show lined up in the UK, and he's a fun, witty, damn decent human being. So yeah, check his shit out. Pass it around. Chris is toasting. Chris, I saw you had your hand up. I know you want to say something, man. I will pass it to you. No, Greg is like, or Chris is like, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you.
No, it's gone. We've moved back onto the topic. I was going to take us on a tangent, so.
We could go on a tangent right after I read Artichoke, and if I remember right, once you get shingles, prone to getting it in. That's correct. You don't build up a natural immunity like you do with chicken pox. And Jacob is back. Welcome back, Jacob. You've missed more than half the show. The fuck.
Hey, what up, Jacob?
Chris, what tangent did you have? And then we'll get back to how we are currently doomsday prepping, whether we want to or not.
Oh, well, I just saw a thing where someone was like, day 8 of Corona isolation, and they had made a concert out of gummy bears. They had like a little stage full of gummy bears, and then like their dining room table was just covered in little gummy bears everywhere, and they had lights going and were like blowing smoke over the table. It's
Okay.
amazing.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. There is amazing creativity coming out of this, whether it's to set up one social media post or whatever. And we're all joking about, here's my house after coronavirus, and it's just covered with newly knitted and blankets and all this stuff.
Not yet.
You could do this normally, and it gives a self-paying reward. Creativity. Elizabeth will nod along or come back on and actually speak on this. Creativity, making something, is a psychological reward. it's well worth doing. Anybody got some
I
comments? Andrea.
Yeah, I have a comment on that. I read a thing today about knitting, and they said something about it creates calm. They say it does for them, and it's like such a concentrated thing that it calms people around. It'll calm people around you, just the clicking of the needles. So
It's true.
I'm calming you.
It's true.
Or drive someone nuts.
Yeah.
Like a pirate with
one
a
of my coworkers is one of those people who has the thing that like they can't stand, like a pen click or like a person chewing, like that repetitive noise. I forget what the condition is called, but she has that. And like,
Oh no, I remember the name.
Oh, it's called Asshole Alina? Is that it?
No,
No, I don't
I
like
thought it was hilarious.
no, like there is a thing that like
Yes.
the repetitive like noises of that type like literally drive someone insane. And I forget to do this, and she will yell at me all of the time because I have one of the little fidget cubes at my desk, and I will sit there and I will just click it and play with it. I don't care. I think it's... Oh wait, I have a fidget cube right here.
Yeah, show us the fidget cube. This sounds sci-fi.
Well, so you got your little switch there,
Okay.
and then this has a little rolly ball that clicks.
I got a
and
rolly
little
ball.
gears. And then this is like a little D-pad.
I like to click. Yeah, that looks good. Do that again. All right.
These are 5, like, so 3 of them make a noise, and 2 of them are
I'll make
quiet.
a noise.
Yeah, if you click her thing, she'll make a noise.
That
By the way-
one's just empty. I think that's all the sides.
Artichoke.
This is a little rotating disc.
See, I don't find that in but Artichoke has a few clever comments. Artichoke says, I'm dealing with the virus like any responsible woman my age by playing Animal Crossing and pretending the world isn't on fire. I think Chris plays Animal Crossing. I don't know.
No, I don't have a Switch, so I don't have it yet.
And then
I'm playing Stardew Valley though, like
Tomato,
hardcore.
tomato?
The last week and a half that I've had Stardew Valley, have played 104 hours.
Andrea, and then I got one more comment from Artichoke. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I play Sims because then I'm God. I decide who lives.
Andrea is the virus. Artichoke says, is Assolina like spirulina, but instead of putting the wheat germ in your smoothie, you use it like a suppository?
Ew.
Wasn't that an animated film? Assholina!
It might have been. I think it was. Yeah, from the,
My May.
right up there with Madeline and the other ones. You know, that's Indiana Jones.
Okay, I don't recognize that.
Assolina was the Nazi theme song. I think. I don't know.
There's something to do with she could sew really well. I can't remember. It was Don Bluth made that film.
Oh, Don Bluth. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Don Bluth's, I don't even remember that. I never remember. The spoon is too big.
Oh my God.
My asshole is bleeding.
My anus is bleeding.
Chris, thank you
Oh
for
my
gifting
God.
that sub right there to Artichoke. I hope that brings Artichoke back sooner because I do enjoy a good artichoke, which is totally a masturbation reference. Gary says,
Yeah.
hold on, I gotta go to this.
Stay forward.
Spirulina, I tried it once. Had a ring of green shit around my mouth. What does it do anyway? Artichoke says, like Madeline, but the nuns are more liberal with the meter stick. And then a thank you to Chris for that. By the way, just so you know, Artichoke, Kavlon that just gave you that is Chris. Chris, wave. There you go. That's where your gift came from, right there. So thank you, Chris. Thank you for the sake that hopefully Artichoke will fucking show up, because I did like it when Artichoke showed up. And notice, 4 months. Artichoke was a regular subscriber at one time. So what are we doing to prep? What Doomsday? Andrea?
Oh. Wait.
Andrea first and Elizabeth.
I was gonna say, well, I know we'll be fine because I'm growing stuff, and you know we have
Yeah, you
food and
are.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
We've been stocking up cat litter cat food,
Yeah.
cat stuff. That's the main thing I'm worried about is, if we can't get to the store for a while, we'll be fine, but what about them? I don't
Eat
want
'em.
them to eat.
Us.
No, we can't eat them yet. They're not, only one of them's big enough for a
Oh,
meal.
okay.
Fish is
Yeah,
close.
fatten 'em up.
Fish is getting close.
Yeah. Combo number 1. We have rice.
Elizabeth,
We have like 10 pounds of rice.
20 pounds.
We the first thing we did to prep was we stopped watching the news. Just turn it off. Don't believe the journalists. We're just staying calm, keeping our heads down. They finally had toilet paper, so we bought some. We don't go crazy. We have some cans. We're kind of prepped, but just carry on.
Actually,
Keep calm and carry on.
my next grocery trip will be to pick up a dozen cans of this and that. Probably more protein-based stuff, such as beans. And
Yeah.
Andrea doesn't like beans, so
We just do it every
know.
time we go to the grocery store. Grab a couple extra cans and just keep stockpiling it.
I have like 3 jars of peanut butter.
oh, that's actually fair. Fair. Couple
So,
comments, and then I want to hear Chris and Ed's prepping. Ed, you got to go last. You'll be busy. Kennedy says, by the way, Artichoke says Chris has good hair. How you doing? Kennedy says it's amazing how many Sherman commercials on Spotify or the TV I'm hearing. Do they really need to advertise right now? Artichoke says, I mean,
They're
some
all
people
so
need
bad.
100 rolls of toilet paper because they're clearly giant assholes, Ed. I thought a little...
No, my wife just canned beans, okay? So I need a lot of paper.
Did you see the one in the Comedy Channel on Discord with the baboon's ass? It's like my asshole after like a week of dollar store toilet. Artichoke says, I thought Elizabeth would panic buying pickles. And Kennedy says, we have 40 pounds of rice, but the soon-to-be ex is Filipino. Well, at least you're eating good. Chris, what are you doing? Has your life changed at all?
I mean, yes, as I spent like near a little over $200 at the grocery store today, which I never spent. Like, I go to the grocery store, it's like $40, $50.
That's
max.
because you spend $20 a day on takeout or carry out or eat out.
That's not true. I spend around 15 a day.
you had to get that fancy cheese.
That's the 20.
Well, I had to have some cheese. Could not have cheese.
Even though he's lactose
I had
intolerant.
tortilla shells and like fixins to make a pizza or a quesadilla, and then there was no cheese. Like, I had to get fancy cheese. Gotta have a quesadilla.
I'm sorry. I'm interrupting with Artichoke here. Artichoke says when
$20 is $20.
Artichoke says when the quarantine started, people were like, "Oh no, better stop ordering from China." Which, by the way, no, the virus is dead on anything they touched. It's okay. Italy goes into lockdown and people start panic buying pasta. I mean, by the way, this is the next comment, the great comment. Artichoke says, I mean, if she's only charging $20 for the eat out, you might want to get a shot.
All you can eat.
That reminds me of a horrible joke. Yeah, probably best if I don't do that one. Ed,
Nothing different. I
nothing
mean,
different. This is how he lives.
Nothing different. When we shop, when we go to the grocery store, if we find a bargain on meats, we buy it, toss it in the freezer, can it at a later date. So nothing different. We always keep probably about 50 pounds of potato flakes and 50 pounds of rice on hand. So nothing different for us.
Oh yeah, I have. If we need milk, if in a pinch, I do have lots of powdered milk I use for the body products I make.
Or baking.
Or or baking
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh, and I need more hand cream.
Okay.
What
I'll get right
flavor?
on that.
What flavor?
I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. I think the label fell off. I hope it didn't, because man, it's one she made for me. I really love. I have to see if the label is still on.
Do you remember
Okay,
the
I'll make
scent?
this
Well, she probably gave you like Andrea, the hippie one.
It had like a sandalwoody type.
There you
of
It
go.
scent
probably
to
was
it.
sandalwood.
Okay. It's my favorite one.
Okay.
Yeah, I right
I'll
here
make you some.
have what is this? Hold on, reading glasses because old people. Orange. I love it when she makes me the citrus ones. I like lime. I like orange. I do like her sandalwood. I'm not a big fan of the floral ones, but I'll use them. She makes a good cream.
Yes, she does.
Mm-hmm.
Really good cream.
Well, and I'm making these new bath bombs or shower bombs for congestion. It's congestion killers, and they're in the shape of a skull, but it's like menthol and lavender, and people really like
It is nice. I used one. She's like, try this. I gave you the broken ass one. She had one that
I
crumbled.
have to have people test them,
Yeah.
so.
Artichoke says, I mean, I'm buying groceries as normal. It just takes a week longer to get a delivery slot. Lime lip balm, call it key lime pie hole.
Oh. Well, I'm actually doing, I'm going to make some more lip balm. I'm going to do a line just because I want to call it lime in the coconut. So it'll be lime and coconut.
Guys, keep talking about things. I'll be right back. I got to get a refill.
Yeah. I just, because I made, one of my coworkers asked me to make a basket for her mother's birthday. So I did some bath bombs and lotion and sugar scrub soap. And everybody likes it. So I'm just going to make everything in bulk and there we go. Sell it, make some money.
Artichoke says, let's all gossip about Travis. That'll be a short conversation. But
He can still hear us.
Everybody whisper.
So a friend just shared a post from Facebook, quarantine day 6, and we're all, first bullet point, quietly reading, improving books. Second point, doing crafts with 3 people that we're allowed to see till summer. Wondering if someone's single, wondering if a single cough means imminent death. Thinking almost constantly about sex. Hey, I suddenly understand Jane Austen novels much better.
Well,
Everyone's turning into writers. Welcome to our world. Self-isolating, fear of people, going outside, bitter.
I saw this meme going, isolated with your family, and it showed like The Shining. That's great. And that's even funnier. Yeah, you were on mute. That's even funnier because I have, it's in my other pocket. I have these things, and I have one for you, Elizabeth.
Me?
Yeah, I can't find it. It's actually key tags for Overlook Hotel for The Shining.
Ah, how cool.
So when we're not quarantined, I'll give you one.
They're out here. They're out here in the living room, I believe.
They shouldn't be. I
Oh,
picked
no,
them
did you
up.
bring them in? Okay, my bad. And by the way, Artichoke is ever being so clever and says, let's all gossip about Travis. Abort the mission! My stripper name has changed for the times. I am now quarantined on Turner.
Fabulous.
By the way, I want to let everybody know, while we are all isolated, as it would be. By the way, can I really quickly say social distancing? Will some of you motherfuckers please practice that on social goddamn media? Fucking distance yourself, you little attention whores. But besides that,
it's going to get worse.
I know it is. They've all got nothing to do.
But Artichoke just reminded me of something.
What?
West Virginia. I mean, that is like the stripper capital of America.
True.
Are
I
they
live
allowed
there.
to stay open?
No, they're not.
No, it's all virtual now. It's all over online.
That's true.
Damn.
Have any confirmed cases made its way into West Virginia, or are they still the
Yes.
state without them?
Yes,
No.
I think they have 5 now.
No, they have shut down all non-essential, if I'm not mistaken, as
Yeah,
of
they've shut
yesterday.
down
until-
everything. But
So I'm thinking it's there in mass. They've now got tests so they can actually figure out, oh my fucking god, we do have it. By the way, I'm sorry, Elizabeth, did you have something before I go on? Go on.
No?
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm trying to show her that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to look at my. If I look at this screen, I can't see
Oh.
it. Hold it up
Never
again.
mind.
Hold it up, Andrea. Hold it up
In
so
my
she says
pocket.
good. And what I'll say here, guys, is I am going to start trying to. I am working over 70 hours a week right now, and I'm happy about that. But I'm going to see if I can't start streaming for an hour or two every night just to hang out with you guys while we're all isolated. It might mean I'm playing World of Warcraft with Chris or Fortnite with Elizabeth or whatever. But I'm gonna. Elizabeth says we love shooting people.
I
in the head.
love it, Andrea. You're so cool.
Actually, Travis got it for me. He's like, give one to your best friend. I'm like, you said you don't want one.
Oh,
Couple comments. Let's see what people got.
Yeah, a couple comments, all right.
Kennedy says, I've been writing all industries, labor, and no frivolous makes Joe a pedestrian stripling. All industries, labor, and no frivolities make Joe... Okay, very good. Very good. By the way, Joe Kennedy is his name for Roughhead, if anybody hasn't figured it out. Artichoke says, just walk out on stage and erotically apply Lysol to the stripper pole. You like that pine fresh scent, Daddy. Tip me in toilet paper and hands. I did see a meme of somebody like stuffing tissues into a stripper's garter.
Yeah, that's funny.
Portland, Oregon strippers are delivering food. True story, because they gotta go where the money is. Artichoke says, "Is that how Chris gets his $20 eat outs?" God, I love it when people flirt. I don't care what it means. I just love to see people flirt ever. Ever. Flirting is an art form, people. It is the clever use of words. It doesn't mean I want to fuck you. It might mean I want to fuck you, but it doesn't have to mean that. Please.
Then there's that one person.
Yeah, who Ed, you don't care. Ed, you know what no means? I'm sorry, you're not that one person.
You're not that one person, Ed.
Okay.
Sorry.
But even when I get a no, I have to say, are you sure?
You're still
You know,
not
as
that
long as you're not blocking the doors so they can't leave, Harvey. Then again, as Andrea has so often pointed out, if a $1 billion movie mogul invites you to his hotel room at 2 in the morning and you show up in lingerie and he's in a robe, guess what? You're not surprised by what's coming up.
Not saying it's right or anybody deserves it,
Right.
but you can't say you're surprised.
Yeah, don't show up, problem solved.
Yeah, right.
Especially with a bottle of booze.
Booze in one hand, lube in the other. What?
$20 will get you at least 3 sheets of toilet paper in this economy.
Oh boy.
Artichoke, is season 3 of American Gods out yet? Because we did buy season 2 because it was well worth it. And I listened to the audiobook, by the way, too.
Hey, again, my theater, no patrons, full of toilet paper. I got the hookup.
Chris has got the sexy pickup lines right now. You want to wipe your ass and then check it?
I'm really surprised because of how people are lately. That in the restroom at the store that someone has not stolen the toilet paper out of.
Oh, I am sure they are wadding it up and stuffing it in their purse. Of course, those big rolls, it's like 1 square, 1 square, 1 square. What is up with those toilet paper rolls? Artichoke says, show up at the door wearing a trench coat, slowly open it to reveal the even smaller trench coat. Say hello to my little friend.
And a strategically placed roll of toilet paper.
Look, I'll dress like the mummy. Come on over. We'll get into that shit. Ooh. Over.
And why are people buying chicken? In my area, all the chicken is sold out. Not the beef or the pork or the bacon. The chicken.
Really? I have pictures
Oh,
of...
see, there was like maybe there was a frozen turkey a small frozen turkey left in the frozen section of
Shivering.
the Safeway while I was there today. Like, everything else was gone. There was plenty of seafood. No one is buying seafood, but like all of the like meats are just gone.
Yeah.
Frozen and non-frozen.
I forgot what state it was, but somebody had posted pictures, said where they are, it's impolite to take the last of something because someone may want it. And they took pictures of the different areas, and there's like one tomato, one apple, one lettuce thing, just one of every.
I am putting pictures on my Discord channel right now, guys, of my last visit to the grocery store. I sent them to Andrea from the grocery store, and they're just like, this is why we had corned beef for our roast. You'll see in a moment if you go look.
I should have taken pictures while I was there.
When I was in the grocery store the other day, the only thing left was corned beef, duck, and some beautiful cuts of beef. And I was like, oh man, there's some beautiful cuts of beef left. I'm going to get some. Nah, it was tenderloin. I wasn't paying that much for that.
No. By the way, a couple more comments from Artichoke, our co-host through typing. Over here, people are literally stealing hand sanitizer from hospitals. Logic. Chicken is delicious. Also, beef and pork are both not eaten by certain religions, so chicken is more universal. It's also cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper. Why are we paying $4 a pound for ground beef all of a sudden? And not all of a sudden, for the past 2-3 years. Kennedy says if we replayed the Hunters Hunted Travis GM'd, we would definitely go after the mummy, but for different reasons. Toei says, I really haven't seen any shortages of anything in the stores around me except for toilet paper water. Okay, good to hear.
Gosh, you're lucky, yeah.
Well, like, the produce section was pretty fully stocked, except where they had the, like, bags of, like, salad vegetables. Like, that whole wall that is normally, like, prepackaged lettuce or, like, mixed salad greens or spinach was just bare. But, like, I got apples just fine. There were oranges. There was a sale on strawberries that they had plenty of.
I went to the store today because I was seeing about Fix-A-Flat. And they had all the vegetables, everything except for onion.
Ed?
Artichoke. I buy chicken because it's the only cock I can get without worrying about a cough. Please come back for every show. Oh my God, I love you.
Artichoke, and here's what I tell you. You and I have never talked via a streaming video. But if we can get on streaming video and I feel the chemistry is good, I will bring you on the damn show with your stupid ass comments. Because how would you not fit in with this? And by the way, I was recently accused of being bigoted when it comes to transgender. So I think you would help improve certain aspects. Artichoke says, well, right here, right now, you can only buy 2 to 3 of an item. Same here. In most stores. Yeah. They also have early opening specifically for old people and healthcare workers. Same here. But the UK definitely started that a week to 10 days before here, at least.
Yeah.
Because that's something within the past week we've started doing, and I know it's been going on, at least in the UK. You're Ireland, right? I'm remembering that correctly? Ireland? There you go, Chris. You got it right there. Panic in the lower right corner over Ed's face.
I love that little, like, GIF. It is one of my favorites.
It's funny.
And the cat one with the rocks. Northern Ireland, so UK rules apply to me. Okay, gotcha. It's, oof. Okay, so we got about 25 minutes left. Elizabeth. Wow. Oh, Ed, first, you?
No.
What were you going to say?
Wow.
Oh, okay. 2 to 3 item rule, works on single produce, can't buy like 4 bananas. Son doing heavy lifting, working Whole Foods, orange juice is out. Okay. Elizabeth, I know you've been very kind with your mute button tonight. Do you want to say a few things real quick? Anything.
Okay, 2 things. In my neck of the woods, the produce and the fruit will never run out. Because the only people that buy it are like me and maybe 10 other households. Okay. And I can't say it because it's regarding a topic we talked about during the show. But okay, this is what I was going to say. Being raised military, being raised overseas, there were several things reminded to me. And I talked to a friend the other day, and she's with the military. She's a spouse. And I was talking about when we shop at the commissary and how the commissary, or the main shopping store, we call it the exchange. And I was reminded continuously that those are not for me or for the spouses or the dependents. Those are for the soldiers and the airmen and the people there, the military. And we're just allowed to go there. And that there may be times when not only are we not given access to these, but we may have to leave the base. And like, if really it hit the fan, my father would stay and we'd be shipped back to the States. And so it definitely, when you're raised military, especially overseas, you just have a slightly different outlook. Like, this is part of it. And I remember this week I told my mother, I said, boy, it feels kind of like an alert. You know, we have to stay home. We have to. And you don't, and you're taught, now I'm not saying everybody acts accordingly, but you are taught when you go to the store, you don't go crazy and buy everything. You know, you buy what you need, and then there's a limited supply. We're aware of this. And it's one fortuitous outcome from all of this is we're going to be a little bit more, I'm hoping, appreciative of the amazing country we have and the luxury we have. But we're now becoming aware that life can change on a dime. It can change on a dime. There's people who aren't going to have proms. There's kids aren't going to school now. They may just say all the kids have to repeat the next year. I mean, who knows?
It's very Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War situation where 5 years suddenly disappeared. What grade are you really in now? I've thought about that. I'm like, I want to make that meme.
Oh, I was
Reset button.
I was at the store when everybody got the news that school was canceled for the academic year. And there were people that were really upset because they're supposed to graduate. And it's like, oh, you'll still get your diploma, but they want to walk. You know, a lot of them want to do the walk. And someone's like, well, you need to walk across your kitchen floor.
I don't understand that. Go ahead.
No, finish your thought and then I'll read. It's just
I remember my graduate. I've heard a lot of that, and oh, poor kids, they're not going to get to graduate. They're not going to get to walk across the stage.
I never
And maybe
did.
it's just me. I just wanted my fucking diploma.
Right,
I
me
didn't
too.
care
Me
about
too.
walking across the goddamn stage. My mother made me. That was the only reason. So I don't understand it.
Yeah, the parents want it more than the kids. Okay, comments.
You know, it's not always about you. You know, life happens.
Okay, I'm going to read some comments. Jacob says, now he clarified he was kidding, sarcastically, oh, I see how it is. Artichoke gets to come on the shows, but I can't. We haven't discussed it, Jacob. If you seriously want to come on, I actually need a really personable another player on my Sunday night game. Don't we, Chris? Yeah. So we could talk if you're not totally being sarcastic. But anyhow, Artichoke then says Whole Foods, Hole. Whole Foods would be a great name for organic strip joint. And then Kennedy makes actually a really good point right here. You know, when people open that leftover can of cranberries from Thanksgiving, things are desperate. And then he says Russian co-workers who lived through Soviet Russia are chuckling. Yeah. And as
You
well...
know,
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
You know, at this point, it's serious and things are happening, but most of us are just being inconvenienced.
Most of us, yeah. There are a few of us, and by the way, for those of you that are fucking inconvenienced, remember the people that this is life or death for them. I recall cheese and toilet paper lines back 30, 40 years ago. People would line up for government cheese. Andrea remembers this.
Oh, that was some good cheese.
And
though.
government
That
toilet
was the
paper.
best fucking cheese ever, man.
Big old block of it.
Yeah. So these things, when we go back to it and we're whining and complaining, you're fucking not starving. What? You've lost weight? Oh, thank goodness, because we needed that. Now, Artichoke apparently said something so fucking horrible that I have to read it out loud. All the strippers would be called things like, how do you pronounce that? Quinoa?
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
Quinoa and green juice. Ew, not
What-
green
Green
juice.
machine, green machine.
What did you call it? Quinoa? What?
Oh,
Quinoa.
but
No. What did Travis call it? I know what it is.
quinoa. Because that's how it's spelled, quinoa. I could see that as a name of somebody coming in to apply at Amazon, by the way. Zadie agrees,
now.
block cheese, best cheese, and artichoke as someone with social anxiety who self-isolates not out of choice. It's amazing how people suddenly care what we do to occupy ourselves and deal with stress, which, by the way, I posted on Instagram recently. Oh no, bars, clubs, and something else now closed. My life is about to seriously be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the arts have become very important in regards to schooling. Where would we be
I have
without
a-
films and books and funny
Oh,
videos?
Right.
good point. Those are arts.
I've come up with a plan
What's your
today
plan?
that if when I go into work tomorrow, they're like, okay, we're closing. You're not working for.
It's not going to happen.
Well, just don't ruin this. Because I haven't had time to play Lego Dimensions for a while. That's what I will do.
Okay,
Put together all my Legos.
couple more comments, which I typed one answer in, but Artichoke says, it's also amazing how the world is suddenly bending over backwards to make things accessible, and I'm looking directly at AT&T and Verizon and unlimited bandwidth suddenly. But before this, if you had accessibility issues, there was nothing they could do. Kennedy asked Travis, are they giving you the 2-hour bump? Yeah, I'm getting a 2-hour, so I'm up to, instead of 15 an hour, 17 an hour. And instead of time and a half for overtime, it's double time. So if I get over 40, which I am now, it's $34 an hour. It's almost paying me what I'm worth. Not quite, though. Because, man, I fucking...
You can afford to work for what you're worth?
No.
Man, if that was the case, I'd be making a hell of a lot more than what I'm making.
Oh,
My
hell,
point
I
exactly.
can't afford to work for what I'm worth. I'd starve.
Ed, will you pull the cotton out of my pill bottle?
So, a funny thing a friend posted. I think my generation is taking this extra serious because we remember how bad we were at the Oregon Trail.
Dysentery. Yeah, that is actually an interesting point. I wonder what other things are going to crop up that we haven't dealt with for a long time as this happens. Amazing how many people are suddenly realizing how expendable they are to their employers. Artichoke, that's true. That's true.
I've always known that.
But I am terrified for small businesses, which we've always, especially the past 10 years, really went, oh my God, save the small business. And now small businesses are going to crumble. No gas prices.
Right now, the government decides who's going to thrive and who's going to fail because they can tell you if you're open or not.
Fair point. Ed, Elizabeth, you guys like that topic. Comments on that? Elizabeth has somebody talking to her. The government deciding who thrives and who's... Yes, Elizabeth?
Well,
Or Ed?
I would like to, I think, did you want to talk about the message you posted earlier this week when we discussed a little bit, or
I don't remember it, so sure, go ahead.
The 30-day Homeland Security, blah, 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 we're shutting everything down, and we really haven't gotten to that, and...
We're looking at... No, we did. In Virginia, this isolation of shutting... Oh, I'm sorry, 30 days.
But we haven't gotten to that. The federal government, did not step in and say everybody's going to stay in their house.
True. State
And the
government.
guidelines that have been put forth in Virginia so far is if you can maintain the less than 10 people in the 6-foot distance, you can stay open. Even if you're not essential, you can stay open. So, some small businesses don't really have to suffer. They can stay open. They can continue to do business.
May even thrive.
It may even thrive, exactly. I had a friend I was particularly worried about because she just opened. She's a seamstress. and she just opened a month ago her own shop for the first time. She'd been working out of her home, working for other people, and she just opened a month ago her own shop. And she's really been panicking. Oh, what the hell did I do? I just signed this lease on this place. I'm not going to be able to do any business. But it may not be that bad for her. Who knows what next week may bring?
Sure.
But it may not be that bad for her. So we can make it through. I think we can.
I think we can. We're definitely going to see a dent, and I hope the government doesn't bail everybody out. I hope we suffer. I hope we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Andrea?
I read a thing that Bill Gates stepped down. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah.
What's up with the people doing that?
It's time. By the way, Artichoke
Yeah.
adds the ever intellectual comment of, if you cough into somebody's butthole and they get corona, does it become an STD?
Wow.
Maybe.
Well, it's even worse if the butthole coughs back.
I posted earlier.
Isn't that how Assolina started?
Do you want to sing the song again, Ed? I think the two things go very well together. Ed doing the background music, Elizabeth doing the lyrics. This is Elizabeth's next broadcast.
It's interesting, lawyers are coming out and they're talking about the constitutionality of the government and people and how right now being isolated, self-quarantined, staying at home, that's a violation of your Fourth Amendment. But at what point does public safety and your own rights, where do they meet and collide? And, discussions are now being had. And once again, another positive thing about something so detrimental is occurring. I'm excited about it.
Ed?
That is one of the smart things that they did, because when Travis put up the post the other day about we're going to be quarantined at 30 days and everything, I was thinking, I don't think so. The federal government can't really do that without declaring martial law, and we know this Congress isn't going to allow them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the smart things this administration has done is left it up to each of the governors of the states.
Which, by the way, Ed, I am following CNN a lot right now because they have a minute-to-minute update on different coronavirus things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I'm watching. Every picture they're showing of Trump is noble. It's interesting. They are showing dignified pictures of Trump and this shows right now in a crisis situation. Calm down. Stop picking apart the nitpicky crap. Wait till we're in a good space before we turn into complete dicks.
Mm-hmm.
And let's come together a little bit. Elizabeth?
Real quick, I'm still on that button. In response to what Ed was saying about the Congress not allowing our rights to be taken away. Patriot Act? Anyone? We were only supposed to use that for a few years.
I
and
didn't
that's
say the
still
Congress
going.
wouldn't allow our rights to be taken away. I said Congress would not allow this administration to
Declare martial law.
declare martial law. Yes.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet you think that.
It might be naive. It might not be.
I don't know. I like to remain optimistic about things, but I do know that once a right is taken away, or once they get a little bit of hold, then they just keep taking.
Which is one of the things I mentioned earlier, a week to 3 weeks ago, with once they do go that step, when you go back to normal, it's a little less than what you had before.
Mm-hmm.
And Artichoke says...
Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Finish your thought.
Well, that's why I like these discussions happening, and I am not at all a constitutional lawyer. I like the fact that these are getting published. I like the fact that the public is getting informed, and I like the fact we can talk about it. Because we do need to realize what's happening on all sorts of levels and question it. There you go.
Artichokes points out something very serious and intelligent right here. Someone defended the $1 trillion injection to Wall Street as a way to prevent the Great Depression from happening again. But the stock market is useless. If the general people are starving to death, and out of work. The economy
Right.
can only survive if the people survive. And when the poor shall have nothing more to eat, they shall eat the rich. Get your guillotine ready. Call me Mommy.
Only after we devour each other,
Oh,
and
you
we'll
might
make our way towards the rich.
you might not be wrong.
We started that already. Yeah.
How so, Ed?
Oh, look at the shelves in the grocery stores.
Yeah, okay.
We started that already.
But I do see a government responding. As much as we've called Trump so many things, including heartless, I don't feel threatened by his actions in the past few weeks in the least.
Oh no.
And I haven't heard all kinds of news about his crazy tweets, etc. He has stopped being the showman he was a couple months ago, let alone years ago.
Yeah.
Andrea?
Yeah, I was going to say that about him. He's not doing this stupid stuff that everybody's making fun of. He's stepping up, so chances are I think he's going to be reelected because of this.
Although he is pissed off at Congress, right?
Well, yes. And that's a constant battle throughout all my life. President versus Congress or Senate or whatever. Artichoke says, I bet Bill Gates would be delicious. We can shove some spirulina up his ass for seasoning. I tell you what, I have a little respect. As much as Windows, we might bitch about it, it did bring together, it gave everybody a computer at home. It really did. And he has donated not the mass of his wealth, but a lot to different charities and done different things that are helpful along the way.
The mass of his wealth,
Yeah.
actually.
Is it Elizabeth? Ed?
Yeah, he really gave Rotary International a boost
Yeah.
with his work through vaccinations against polio.
I mean,
He and the Melinda Gates Foundation have donated
Yeah.
large
Yeah.
amounts of money. That's
Ed?
been cool.
this may sound, it sounds like a lot to us, I know, okay, but he is only leaving each one of his children $10 million. The rest of his wealth goes to charity.
Out of billions, people.
Yeah,
out
out
of
of billion.
multiple, not like 3 billion.
Yeah.
Lots. I don't know the number, so I'm not. And by the way, Trump did claim Corona was a Democratic. He did. Underfunded the pandemic response. Absolutely, he responded late. Stepping up, placed America in such a. He has. Artichoke, I can't argue with that. And perhaps Ed and Elizabeth could, but I see what you're saying, and it was a late response. Ed.
I wouldn't argue with it, but it's no excuse, but how much of that was trying to keep people calm?
That's true too, and that is something I have seen too. Is him coming up going, we don't have to worry about this. This is a leader's response to go, it's okay, we got it. Bill Gates can leave Jared Leto his dinner. I know a lot of people that would eat Jared, not for a meal either, just for the spirulina.
Who's Jared Leto?
The Joker in Suicide Squad.
Oh,
It's and he was apparently quite hunky, kind of greasy in my opinion, kind of like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Keeping the people ignorant breeds rumors. Maintain calm. We need transparency. Artichoke, yes and no on that one. I see
Yes
what you're
and no.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. I agree, but yeah, too much transparency in a calm time leads to people just picking it apart more and nitpicking. In a panic time, no, transparency does help. Constant communication does help. And this goes from a personal level to me discussing with Andrea about if something happens, making sure she and I, if something happens to one of us, the other one is taken care of, all the way up to the federal government. From the one-on-one level to the top level. Have these conversations, folks. Elizabeth?
Yeah, okay. Artichoke. Alright, keeping the people ignorant. Allow me to respond. People choose to be ignorant. Okay? People choose it.
Actively seek it in
yes,
some cases.
Yesterday, I had to go to a friend's to pick up something, and we still managed to keep our distance. It was really funny. We were giggling the whole time. He's 70-some years old, and I gave him groceries. And then we're looking across the street, and there's 4 teenagers, driving around in a Jeep, all close together, hanging out, right? And I'm like, God, idiots, idiots. And, there's a problem right there, spreading. whatever.
You wanna
On
talk
the drive
about
home,
spring break,
I
too?
Spring break. I pass a basketball court, and there's about 10, maybe a dozen adult men playing basketball with each other. Playing, rubbing, sweating, working up a storm. That's stupidity. So it's not just always the government's problem. Sometimes it's the people's problem. That is not what they're asking us to do, pleading with us to do. So, it's give and take. It's both responsibility.
In the UK, when this first kind of started hitting the UK, when it struck the UK and became big in the UK, the government went, oh, we have these suggestions. We're not going to put police on the street to enforce the stay the fuck away from people. Because you're adults and you should have some common sense. This is the problem with the general public. We, as individuals, when we talk to everybody, people nod along with almost everything we would say here on the goddamn show. But then you see people in the basketball court and they're not keeping the 6-foot spacing. They're still, body checking. There's my limit of basketball knowledge. I'm done.
Spring break in Florida.
Okay. And Canadians. Yeah, and Canadians.
So,
yeah, Andrea?
there's a lot of people I've heard that in their own household they keep 6 feet apart at all times.
Yeah.
Does 6 feet really keep you from
No.
catching it?
Not in an enclosed space such as a house. Now, yeah, you can keep that 6-foot space. Good job. Everybody sit in a different room and watch your fucking Netflix. But that air...
Some houses do that, unfortunately.
Well, they do that when they're
Constantly.
not.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And now that they're all stuck in the house together, they're like, we're keeping the 6-foot space. I'm not kudoing you.
That's stupid. And just like,
Check.
Yeah. Well, sitting 6 feet away from my laptop just in case typing with a broom handle is hard. Wow, you've got some skills. What the fuck? Wow.
It's not a broom handle. That's his penis.
Her.
Excuse me.
You know what? She can have a penis too. It's okay.
I got a whole drawer full. Come on.
Hold on. I'm typing.
Hey, there's some down in the kitchen, so
I'm going to Chris's house because apparently they're all over the place.
Do you want to tell that story real quick? We got a couple minutes left before we can wrap up.
So before the show, I went downstairs to refill my drink, and one of my roommates works at an adult store, and bought some things for herself to last through isolation. And I
Wow.
walked down into the kitchen, and in the middle of the floor of the kitchen is the travel fuck machine. Just includes 8-inch dildo, like just right there, middle of the kitchen.
Why
And
is there not a picture on my
Why
Discord?
is there no picture?
On Discord.
I didn't have my phone on me when I went downstairs.
Well, that's un-American. I'm not talking to you. I'm going to read this comment instead. Artichoke says, I mean, if it was 6 feet long, I could be a pole vaulter. Oh, Travel Fuck Machine is my Tinder name. By the way, I heard somebody today at work talk about, like, I don't know, the 5-year-old daughter who got birthday money. And this daughter, who might not be 5, I don't know, she said to her mother, who I work with, it's still... If an ATM is a bank machine and time is money, does that mean an ATM is an automatic time machine? And the mother asked, did you read this on the internet? Did you pick this up somewhere? And the kid is like, no, I was just thinking. And I'm like, that's a fucking great kid right there. It's do they know it stands for automated teller machine or not? I didn't ask. I just let the mother go on. Kennedy says, I'm coming upstairs. I'm still naked. I'll come up later. Yeah. 6 foot penis. Ed, you want to comment on that?
No.
No bragging. Good man. Okay, we got 2 minutes left. Guys, I want to thank you. One last comment from Artichoke. I feel sorry for the guys on Tinder who actually have to talk to a girl for 6 weeks before hooking up because of the quarantine. They won't wait. Guys, great show. Because of you, commenting across the board, all of you, every single person who commented. This is how we isolate, by coming together where it's safe. Elizabeth, thank you for your generous use of the mute button, considering the atmosphere that we're working with right now.
You
Jacob,
should see what's going on here.
Jacob, you say sorry I wasn't here for more. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. It's up as a podcast in a couple days here, so you can hear it all again, listen to it while you're isolated. I will attempt to stream more often, even if it's just for an hour or two, and playing a video game. You'll get to watch me freak out with Elizabeth on Fortnite, or go collect stupid pets with Chris on World of Warcraft. And bless you, Chris, he's diseased. I do have a disease shirt. Have you guys seen the diseased shirt? Check that out. There's also the C is not just for cookie, it's also for coronavirus shirt or mug or sticker. So check that out. Put that on your computer, put that on your chest as you walk to work, and get more people into the tavern to hang out with us. We got some closing music. We are out of here. Any closing comments real quick from anybody here? Elizabeth, Ed, Chris, Andrea?
Goodbye.
Toast.
Toast! Let's do a quick quote. Let's do a quick toast. Let's see what our quote machine says. Nothing can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius won't. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education won't. The world is full of educated derelicts. So, here we go. We got these last couple comments. Kennedy says Elizabeth's First Amendment rights taken away by white noise. Very true. Zadie, thank you for hanging out the whole time. Gary loved the show. Toasting from Elizabeth. And Zadie says, I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay safe. Yes, people. Don't be a fucking moron and kill people by apathy. Outro music. Here we go. God, what a great show. What a great audience tonight, guys. What a
Awesome show. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah.
Fun. Keep learning.
Andrea, thank you for joining us tonight. We missed you.
Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every
Fox
day.
is canceled.
Dreams
I have.
Oh.
Rather hang out with these than hang out with me.
I want to quinoa. That's my new dancing name.
Twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk. And don't you forget to check out Twitch.tv/Pickle Lady. Follow her. Out of here, guys.